In this video, we're going to give you 10 tips to get better at Warzone. Whether you're a new player or if you've been playing since the launch of the game, this video is going to give you some tips that you can use to instantly improve. If you enjoy weapon breakdowns, weapon comparisons, and overall tips and tricks like this video you're watching right now, subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And also, if you want to watch us play live, click the link in the description down below and follow us over on Twitch. We want to reach our goal of 100 followers over there as well. The first set of tips is based all around vehicles. Vehicles have become so prominent inside Warzone, and especially in solos as well as duos, they're extremely overpowered. The first tip is at the start of every game, make sure you open up your big tac map and try and keep an eye on where vehicles are at. Even if you're not going to go and look for a vehicle yourself, you can see if enemy players have moved vehicles away from their spawn points. So even if those enemies are not close to you, you'll know if they've went for a helicopter or if they've went for a cargo truck, for example. Another thing that is quite important is that keep an eye on vehicle skins. A lot of people like to have skins on their vehicles as well as guns, of course. But what is so important about vehicle skins is that if you see a vehicle with a skin that's not the default, that means an enemy is nearby because they've just used this vehicle. And this is something I always keep an eye on when I enter a new point of interest or a new part of the map. This will improve your awareness level significantly, as you'll always know if enemies are nearby just based on what's going on with vehicles. The next two tips a lot of pro players use, and the first one is angling your vehicle. So let's say you're hopping out of your vehicle to jump inside a building. So what you should do is angle the door that you're going to exit from in the vehicle on the side of the door that you're trying to enter from of the building, and that way you can run straight in the building and you don't exit out on the wrong side and then you need to run around the whole vehicle just to get inside the building. This exact same tip can be used in other ways as well. Pro players especially use it when they're in open areas and they're going to engage in an enemy gunfight and there's no cover. So what they'll do is they'll angle the car so that they exit out on the side where the enemy is not, and then they can shoot the enemy using the vehicle as cover, which is really important. So there's two benefits of doing this inside a gunfight. The first is that you can use your vehicle as cover, especially if you've hopped out in the middle of a street, for example, where there is no cover. The second one is that if you want to reposition, or if you start losing the gunfight and you need to escape, then you can easily get in the vehicle and you can't get shot from the side that you're entering the vehicle. On the topic of vehicles, every single vehicle inside Warzone has different health. So the ones that have the most health are the cargo trucks, the SUVs, and the helicopters. So make sure you try and go for these vehicles first. So quickly going over the health each vehicle has, the cargo truck has 3,600 health, the helicopters have 3,200 health, and the SUV has 2,000 health. So like I said, these three vehicles are going to protect you the most, and as you can see, the cargo truck definitely has the most health here. The next two tips are kind of just bonus tips based around vehicles once again, because like I said, I feel like they're such a huge part of the game at the moment. So the first thing is making sure you understand which vehicles move the quickest. So if you're trying to get from point A to point B, or if you're trying to escape the gas, which vehicles should you choose? So the helicopters and attack rovers move the quickest inside all of Warzone. So if you're trying to move around the map as fast as possible, those are the two vehicles that you should pick. The last and final tip based on vehicles is that you can use a lot of these ground vehicles to create jump spots for yourself. So let's say it's one of those small two-story buildings that are pretty much everywhere on the map. If you park your vehicle right up against the wall of that building, you can pretty much jump on your car and then jump straight through the second story window. And enemies will never expect this because they're usually camping at the top of the steps, as that's the only way up. Another huge tip around jump spots in Warzone that I only recently discovered is that you can actually use deployable cover to actually create jump spots as well. Personally, the only time I would pick up deployable cover is if I can't find a trophy system or any other field upgrade, as I feel like deployable cover is only useful for people who are camping in buildings. But now that I've found this recent tip that you can use it to create certain jump spots for yourself, I've actually picked it up way more often. And if you want to see a full video of certain spots where you can actually use this deployable cover to create jump spots, then leave a comment down below and leave us a like on this video. Another tip that I've learned watching a lot of pro streamers is that you can actually wallbang through quite a lot of objects in this game, Some of the doors that you can open and close, especially inside Superstore, you can actually shoot through those, and there's a lot of other objects around the map as well that you can shoot through. So let's say you've got an enemy and he's almost dead and he's running behind cover. Just try and shoot through the cover to see if you get lucky and finish that kill. This is something I've incorporated into my game, and shooting through those doors has got me quite a lot of kills that I wouldn't usually get. So definitely give it a go. Now the next tip is something I've been trying to improve on myself quite a lot recently, is picking the correct fight when you pop a UAV. Now everyone knows to go for a UAV to know where enemies are, but pushing the correct fight at that time is so important to you winning or losing the gunfight. So let's say you pop a UAV and you can see an enemy team camping on top of a roof inside downtown, which happens pretty much every game. You never want to push that fight because they're going to be happy camping there until the zone pushes them off. And let's say you spot an enemy team moving from one location of the map to another location of the map, and they need to cross an open ground where there's no cover. That is the team that you should push, because this team, even though it might take a little bit longer to get to them, will be most vulnerable, unlike the team that's camping on that rooftop. The example I've just given is a very obvious one for most experienced players, but sometimes it's kind of hard to judge on whether a team's going to move a position or if they're just going to stay where they are, so that's something that you need to learn to judge over time. Another huge tip is when you're in the middle of a gunfight, try and remember character skins. This is very similar to the tip that I gave at the start of this video about vehicle skins, but this is really important when you're calling it out for your teammates, because they can know whether there's only one enemy there or if there's going to be 3 or 4 enemies there. So let's say you're in a situation where you're holding a position and your teammate's holding a different angle on an enemy team. They spot a ghost skin and you spot a rose skin. That means that there's definitely 2 enemy players there. But let's say you're holding that same angle and your teammate spots a ghost skin, and 2 seconds later you spot that same ghost skin and there's no sign of any other teammates. It's quite possible that that person is by themselves or they don't have any teammates nearby, unless they're one of those really weird teams which we all run into that run the same skin. And the last and final tip I want to give for this video is make sure you're making use of your gas mask, especially if it's near end game. If you're trying to get out of a bad spot, definitely use your gas mask to reposition. Even more experienced players don't really expect a gas play, so definitely make sure if you're stuck in a bad spot and it's near end game that you make use of your gas mask. And even if you're midway through a game and you have to get out of a bad position, definitely still make use of that gas mask, because once you kill an enemy player, you're most likely going to get a fresh one anyway. So there you have 10 top tips to help you improve at Warzone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and that way you can see more videos like this. Also, click the link in the description and follow us over on Twitch. We want to reach our goal of 100 followers over there as well, and thank you very much for watching.